Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. It is Pride Month. That means we're celebrating all things me. Gay, super lesbian, very bisexual, massively transgender, and certainly queer, I guess. And all the other ones. I mean, there's a shitload of other little letters in there. I don't even know what they mean anymore. I don't even know what they mean. Because essentially they mean nothing. They mean nothing. Because our identifiers, our pronouns, our whatever is not who we are. I don't know when did that get lost on society? When did it disappear that we're not a label that is either put on us or self-ascribed? Like I don't know. I was always raised that humans were multifaceted, that you know, you couldn't be defined by one thing, either by yourself or someone else, because you get like, well, you could just identify as cool or whatever, but you're not cool unless you're cool. Like you don't get to just be something. Like I just identify as rich. Done. Oh, that was fucking easy. Now I don't have to pay for anything ever again. Just sleep on my bed of gold coins. Like, but that's not how it works. You don't just get to pick a trait and go for it and be that thing, no matter how much you identify. But now, like it's whether the characteristic is immutable, inherited, created, ascribed, earned, it doesn't matter. People are identifying by certain monikers are acceptable for it. And now we give them whole months, I guess. But it's weird. Like if Pride Month was just pride in who you are, which I know that there's some weirdo out there who's going to be like, that's what it is. Like, well, not really though, because the type of genitals you put your mouth on is not who you are. That's just a thing that you do. But if Pride Month was pride in who you are, it'd be very dangerous. We all know this, right? Like we understand how dangerous it would be to have Pride Month be pride in who you are, because that would allow people to be proud of being white. Hypothetically. Proud of being male. Hypothetically. Proud of being American, like Lee Greenwood or whatever. Proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free. You're not. And I won't forget the man who died for that butt fucking flag for the, like, what is it? Like, what, like I don't know if you guys have seen this weird, there's this weird soldier like tweet about the gay pride flag, because they put the gay pride flag up somewhere on some memorial. I don't know, man. Like the news is confusing because it's so baffling that you're like, but like why is that? Why did they even do that? Like in the first place, you're like, did they do that? Is this a Babylon Bee thing? Because I did see the Babylon Bees like headline, which is I believe a response to this about Biden putting replacing the Iwo Jima flag with the gay pride flag. And I think it's a response to this weird like Twitter feud that happened where some guy's like, I'm a soldier, you don't tell me what I died for. And because the guy's like, hey, yeah, actually the soldiers died for the American flag, not the pride flag. He's like, you don't tell me what queers I did and didn't bleed for as a veteran in the Navy. Like, well, we know which ones you bled from as a veteran in the Navy. But it's like this whole thing. And the first thing you have to do when you wake up in the morning or get off the shitter in the afternoon and check the news is like, wait, is this like a real one though? Because I don't even understand why they put a pride flag on any American thing. Like that's my first question. Like I didn't even know that was like a thing that would happen. I'm very confused about this. And then you have to suss out why people are fighting over, like, I get the people who are like, hey, you know what? Like American soldiers in 1947 or 44, right? Or I guess in like 53 in Korea or whatever. Like they weren't like, you know what I'm going to go bleed for? The rights of people to or not to suck dick on their own. Like they may have supported people's right to suck dick if they wanted to, no matter their gender, right? But that's irrelevant to their enlistment or in some cases conscription into the United States Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marines. Like, some of them are just like, well, there's a thing called a GI Bill. I pledge allegiance to the debt that I'm not taking on by following the Republic to the college line after 4 years of service in Kuwait under America. Amen. Right? Like that's some people, and hashtag respect. If that's you, I don't care. I don't care what people did. Like they bribed a bunch of people to join the voluntary military. Good job. Good job. Like that's an okay thing. If they did that, I'm not like cynical about it. Sometimes you need to get people into a thing. And one great way to do that is say, hey, we will pay for this thing that you want. So you don't have to. Oh, and by the way, it's kind of expensive. Like, oh yeah, that's not a bad thing. There's nothing morally or ethically wrong with either side of that choice, as long as the choice is honest. But when they go take their oath, and what is drilled into them, or was at the time drilled into them at the at boot camp and the for lack of a better word, indoctrinating aspect of the entire environment is they're fighting for the Constitution, defending the people of the nation. All of them, not just the ones who like to bugger or be buggered or whatever, like whatever verb you want. You know me, I got no problem with gays or lesbians. I think they're great and funny people. I don't care what people do. I just don't. Like, who am I to judge? I eat Subway sandwiches from time to time. That's a pretty shitty life choice. But it just is weird to put it on like a U.S. monument, like the pride flag. It's like, what? It's not weird to fly it from a naval ship. I'm just kidding. I love you, Navy seamen. And I know you Navy love your seamen. I'm just running with the ongoing meme here. Don't come broken wrist slap at my door angrily, okay? And so when I see it online, I'm like, back to the original story. Is this even like, is this a real thing that happened? And then why did this happen? It just doesn't seem like it's in the purview of the American government to give a flying fuck about gays. Like they don't care about anybody else. They don't really care about gays either. Hey, by the way, gays, they don't actually like you. Like, I don't know if you know this, my friendly gays. Democrats don't like you. I probably like gay people a shitload more than the biggest gay advocates in Congress. They like you like they like a hammer, right? They're jealous of your ability to pound men into submission. They want to do that. They can't though, because they like female booties, and so they use you like the hammer. That's why they like you. They're like, yeah, this is a good claw hammer. I can smash people into submission with this. You can't do in real life. Me, I just like people. I think people are great and fun and cool, like hanging out with everybody. And it's always funny when I'm told how much I hate some group, and I'm like, but I don't really hate anybody except for a couple of fat people out there. Not even all of them. Really, it's like it's enough work bearing the weight of hating a couple fat people. I don't have time to hate all of them. My hatred doesn't spread that wide. Nothing does. Oh, speaking of wide, what's up to Good Logic and the Good Logic rating community? welcome to the channel. Love you guys. Thank you. And just so you guys know, Joe had reached out yesterday to see if if we were going to do our kind of show exchange that we've been doing on Mondays. I said I wasn't ready to do that yesterday. Half because I'd kind of already talked to Camelot. The other half is because I was only barely ready to get back into kind of like the serious discussion topics and stuff like that. I said next week. So next week, I think we're on Joe's channel next week. Not positive. We'll sort that out and figure it out. I'm assuming that's the order, and we'll be over there. But love you guys, and of course, can't wait to talk to my homie Joe again sometime really soon. But just as like an update on what that is. So anyway, back to the weird discussion of like trying to sort through all this fucking news, this the pride shit and the flags and everybody being so mad about everything. It's like the moment the government honors your people group, you have to know you're fucking ruined. Like you're done. You're on a timeline. And just ask the blacks. Like the government spends so much time trying to get into the pants of blacks that they've just fucking demolished the black family. They've demolished the black economy. They destroyed Black Wall Street. They have the new Amistad is the Democrat Party promises to black people. Like that's a one day one of them's gonna you make free and they'll break the chains and get the fuck off of the Democrat plantation. And look, I know hashtag not all Democrats. I got it. Lots of you just don't like black people. That's cool or whatever. But like the ones who pretend to manipulate and destroy that community, it's one of the most heartbreaking things in the world to watch it happen and to watch people be so manipulated into supporting their own destruction decade after decade after decade. At some point, maybe it'll change. But by the way, gays, the only reason Democrats fought for your gay marriage is so they could fuck your family up right after you get it. Just be prepared. Like, I know you're on this euphoria thing because of all this stuff, and you're like, they do love us. They're so cool. Look at the flashy colors. They don't, actually. And you'll find that out. It'll take a little bit. It'll suddenly become apparent when they are just ruining everything you do in love. And I think some of you out there may be noticing that this is happening. I think some of you may be noticing that, like, they're like, look, we love gays. And you're like, yeah, we're gay. We love us too. And we're like, and we love those lesbians. Look at those butch flannel wearing bitches in their Subarus. These are great. They're out there. And they're like, yeah, they do love us. This is cool. Let's cut our hair even shorter or whatever and take testosterone and glue on beards. And they're like, yeah, and by the way, you guys are cool and your like sexuality thing, how you like each other, like the same of you. We've met people like that. Some of my best friends like dicks, and it's really great. And also trans people, and you're like, but then, well, I mean, okay, now like trans people are cool. It's not really the same thing though. Like I'm a guy who likes guys. I mean, I'm a guy though who likes guys. It's not like I'm trying to be a chick. That's like, you guys realize it's different. Like, whoa, don't get us wrong. Like, trans people are fine and cool and stuff, but like, that's not really like a gay thing. Like, the gay thing is what genitals I want to eat and touch and put in me, not what genitals I have on me. That's a different issue. Like, you guys they probably understand. It's just like easier to lump us all. No, I get it. It's easier to lump all this together. And they're like, and pedophiles. And you're like, okay, wait, no, fuck you guys. No, okay. It was funny. It was funny. I got it when we got in the door, and like you had me dress up like Carrie because you're like, you gays are wonky. You'll put on a dress like Carrie, right? Like, we're not going to dump pig blood all over you and like call you pedophiles or something and like pretend that you're the same as pedos. Like, that would be crazy. Like, that'd be a silly joke. No, you're going to be the homecoming king and the homecoming king, and you'll both be queens. It'll be perfect. That's what we're really doing. Yeah, no, don't worry about the giant bucket of blood called pedophiles that's going to be dumped all over you on center stage in front of everybody after we give you your own month and you're out there and you're like, woo, look at all our leather and straps and chains. This one's walking around like a dog because apparently BDSM is associated with gayness. And like, you're just in a parade with a big rubber dildo, like walking down the streets of San Francisco. And they're like, look, you guys like pedophiles too. And you're like, whoa. and the dildo like just flops over and stops, and you're like, that's not the same. Nah, like that's not us though. And there's like one conservative guy who's like 97 who's at the Pride Parade and protest being like, I told you they were going to get us with the fucking gay slope thing. And the gay will turn to him and be like, you did say that. Shit. I mean, he did. I mean, we all heard him say it. Fuck. Huh. Huh. So don't worry. Don't worry. My friends in the gay, lesbian, trans community, all whatever the little letters are, everyone except the P's or whatever. They're pretending to like you because you're a tool. You're useful. You're marginalized by society. Now they can bludgeon society into obedience with you. And they're going to use that to fuck you in return, but keep you submissive to their political power, authority, and ultimately, as it all comes down to, their money, their income, their control. And if the Black community is any indication, I mean, they got suckered in the 60s. You guys didn't really get suckered in until the mid 2000s, maybe the 2010s. You guys are fucked for a long time. You got decades coming. And the ones of you who break out, prepare to be ridiculed by everyone you know in your community because you're a traitor to your gender or identity or whatever it is. I don't even fucking know what it is anymore. What identifier you're a traitor to, but you are going to betray them over and over and over and be ostracized, ridiculed, mocked. You will be made back into that minority that you fought so hard to not be. All you fought for was the right to work, live where you live, and fuck whoever you want. Like that was your idea. You're like, but I just want to punch my card in and then punch my pee-pee in like everybody else. Like that's what I want to do. That's it. And they're like, yeah, well, we'll get you that. But you owe us. And we're gonna make you live in the worst communities, littered with the worst homelessness problems. We're gonna give your politicians all the excuses in the world to not fix it, to fuck you over, to leave you with shitty diseases, shitty housing, shitty jobs. We're gonna make your neighbors hate you because you will be the reason that their lives are getting frustrating and difficult, and why they're being called racist, why they're losing their jobs. It'll be you. It'll be us doing it through you. That's the use case. But they'll blame you. They'll never blame the politicians because politicians support you guys. How could they possibly be trying to ruin everything you build? But they do every time. So welcome to it. Enjoy your month and enjoy your parades. Make them fabulous, please. So at least when I open the paper, the digital one, I get some interesting picture to look at. But they're going to use you guys to abuse children. They're going to use you guys to justify the abuse of children that they want to do. Because you have an L or a G or a B or a T next to your name, and that's pretty much the same in their eyes as wanting to fuck kids. And it's not a mystery or a theory. It's pretty open. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but enjoy it while you got it. And those poverty stats come in, and the broken marriages that you worked for start piling up and getting absurdly high, and that police start becoming afraid of you and killing you or mistreating you in some way, or at least it seems that way. Whether or not it does, it'll just start seeming that way. the persecution will seem worse than before in some strange ways. Just know that behind every one of those results is actually that same smiling politician with the rainbow shirt on that said, "We love you. We love the gays," or whatever. They're the ones doing the exact policy making that ends up with you on the receiving end of a nightstick, and not in the fun way. Well, that was a very weird tangent, but I liked it. I liked it. It was probably necessary. All right, guys. Today, that's not even what I was going to talk about today. That's not even on the menu for today. That was just extra. So tonight we've got it's in the title, man. There's 4 main topics. The first one is one of the most important ones. I just spent a lot of time dumping on liberals and Democrats and all that shit. Conservatives they're on the same fucking block. They're on the same block. We've got conservatives and flaccid legislation. I don't know if you know this. There's a debt ceiling crisis. I'm sure you've heard, because whenever there's an opportunity for government to just raw fist us into oblivion, they just call up all their media friends and all of them run the same story. And it's been a couple months now. The debt ceiling is coming. The debt ceiling, and negotiating the debt ceiling and postponing the debt ceiling and fixing the debt ceiling. And all it is, the answer is we want to spend more money we're going to take in like we always do, and we just need to raise it. But we're now going to use that debt ceiling crisis as a political weapon to get our agendas through. And both conservatives and liberals do this. Republicans, Democrats, independents, it doesn't matter. It's all an opportunity. The whole reason the debt ceiling exists, because it's largely a fiction, just like the debt is largely a fiction, because the debt isn't real. And like, I want people to know this, like, the debt isn't real. Not to make this too complicated of a point, but our currency isn't real. There's nothing backing it other than full faith and credit of the US government. So our currency, which we use to pay off the debt, is backed by the same bullshit that the debt is granted on in the first place. So the debt is granted on the idea that the government will pay it back, and the money that the government will use is created on the idea that the government has value to instill into the money. We used to back it with gold. You could back it with anything. Technically speaking, any scarce resource could be used to back a currency. When you don't do that, you have something called a fiat currency, which means a currency based on fantasies, unicorns, and bullshit. And so you have a government currency that runs the entire earth based solely on the concept that this government exists and is important. And then that government incurs this massive amount of debt based on the fact that its currency, based on its existence, is valuable because the existence is valuable, and therefore the debt accrues, and then we cap off the number of debt that we can have because Congress is like, well, we have to have a cap on it. We have to have a number. But that number is a fiction. All of it's a fiction. There's no good or service that's being exchanged. Just they go beep and 15 zeros go across an electric wire and nothing happens. No one has anything new. No one made anything new. Everything just got slightly less valuable. And we can get into the idea of inflation because the amount of currency, because technically money was created in some way, even if it's fictional money, it was created. But the whole, everything is devalued. In part because the way inflation works is the more currency that exists, the less valuable the currency is, because in theory, the more there is out there, the easier it is to acquire bigger and bigger amounts. I know it doesn't practically work out that way, but that's the idea. And so inflation works that way, but inflation works the other way too. if you create more of something out of nothing, yes, you may have created the concept of more money, but you've just devalued the value of the credit because the country didn't become more valuable to generate a higher value to give more money. They just said, we'll pay this back too. But that promise, the more and more that is out there, the less and less likely that promise is to ever be fulfilled. Because eventually, at some point, the country, the world, the something society, the idea of currency, whatever it is, will end. There is a time limit. Now, that time limit could be billions of years. Who knows? But there is a theoretical end of when this system that we live under happens. It could be a civil war. It could be a restructuring of the country. It could be a nuclear holocaust. It could be the sun turning, obliterating the planet. It doesn't matter. But at some point, the system ends. And if value is unpaid, then a debt exists. I mean, it might not matter that it exists if everybody's dead, right? Like, we get that. Don't mistake me. But the ultimate concept of is that something was gotten by this debt and not paid for. So the more debt you accrue and the farther you push out the payback timeline, the more likely it is that some event will come and cut off the opportunity to make the payment. So not only does inflation happen in a practical way of if $10 exists, each dollar is worth 1/10 of the total currency. If $100 exists, now each dollar is worth 1/100th. You've effectively reduced the value of each dollar that exists by 10, a multiple of 10. You divided it by 10, whatever it is, however you want to say it. But also, let's say you have $1 million and you make it 10 million, or 10 million is 100 million, but you only pay back at a steady rate of $10 a year. Well, if you just increase the value sufficiently, that those years will never occur. Like, at some point they'll cut off. It's an interesting concept. So getting back to the original point, the debt ceiling is this fiction. It's a fiction. It's fake. It's based on fake currency with fake money, and it's fake debt. And we have a fake limit, because how can there be a limit to something that isn't real? And the only reason that limit exists is because it becomes a political weapon. And that political weapon is being used currently by conservatives, not to actually achieve something for you, but to pretend to achieve something for you so that you will vote for them again, because they are based and red-pilled on the Second Amendment, in which case they are protecting your right to a pistol brace, except they aren't protecting your right to a pistol brace. Because it passed the House, it may pass the Senate, and Biden will veto it, and it won't matter. And Republicans aren't out fighting for actual Second Amendment rights, like in a real capacity, most of the time. In fact, tons of Republican states have red flag laws, for example, things like that. There's no national ban on red flag laws saying that they violate the Second Amendment. There's no push to clarify the Second Amendment. It's just all relying on the Supreme Court and then local laws to define how your rights work. Republicans have opportunities to do this stuff. They don't. They never do. They'll fight for your pistol brace, kinda, knowing that they can't win. And then they'll justify their fight for the pistol brace on voting for the debt ceiling increase, which just solidifies their ability to do all the other shit that they're wanting to do, spending all of your money, your tax money, and then also the money of your children through inflation and the devaluing of the currency that is fake anyway. They'll spend that all on their pet projects, like protecting Ukraine, which they have investments in. Or whatever else it may be, because it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot going on. There's a whole lot of issues that they want to spend your money on to enrich them, because we've happily created a political class that is greater than the new aristocracy, because not only do they wield massive power and have massive money, they make themselves infinitely rich into the future, and infinitely persuasive, infinitely important, because they solidify themselves. When they deign to stop ruling over us, they secure teaching positions, they secure media positions, they secure consulting positions at companies and corporations that run our lives, that indoctrinate our children, that control everything we do. Both sides, by the way. Like, one's Harvard, the other's Liberty University. One's CNN, the other's Fox News. It doesn't matter where they go. The level of power and influence that they will wield, unreasonably so, will just go on forever. Jason Chaffetz, how you doing? So I just want you to know, I'm not just here to shit on Democrats. I'm here to shit on politicians. You know why? Because politicians are toilets that deserve all the shit that they take. Fuck them. Not even people. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Kind of gave you a preview here. Trump is pleading not guilty. I don't know if you know that Trump pled not guilty to his indictment. It's the obvious move, right? Like, no, Trump's going to go in, no, guilty. I'm actually, Your Honor, I'd like to plead guilty to the 37 counts of stealing classified, or whatever I did. I don't know if I groped them or penetrated them, just like that weird E. Jean Carroll, that ugly thing. I'd probably rather fuck a box of documents, frankly, than to touch her. But apparently I touched her because a jury decided I did. I'll plead guilty, Your Honor. It'll be easier on the corruption. Like, that's obviously wasn't going to happen. Like, he wasn't going to plead guilty, but the media's like, I can't believe Trump would plead not guilty. Doesn't he know he's guilty? Like, you know how this process works. Like, even if someone's going to plead guilty, they're not going to plead guilty at the first hearing. Like, they're not going to do that. I mean, like, meth dealers and stuff sometimes do, but like, someone with counsel isn't going to do that. They're not going to do it. You're not going to take the first offer. You negotiate, take some time. Plus, Trump has an election to campaign for, and this will be an excellent opportunity for him to get a lot of publicity. I mean, make the most out of it. Make the most out of it, obviously. So that being said, the media, though, is like, we just can't, we thought we had him today. I just Trump pleads not guilty. Insanity. I mean, how could he even think to do that? Like, oh my God, it's like the most obvious process that exists. So anyway, I guess we'll talk briefly about that. Not too much. To me, the interesting thing is the media. The media, of course, is dying for this. They're so happy that Trump indictments are coming down. And of course, this motivates more and more of them, because prosecutors are political monsters. Like, in prosecuting Trump, Alvin Bragg is potentially presidential material. Like, legitimately, Alvin Bragg getting a guilty verdict on Trump in the other case, the what's the fuck is it? The assisting the commission of a crime case, the Manhattan indictment. Alvin Bragg getting a guilty verdict on Trump in that and holding on to it can literally be a path towards an Alvin Bragg presidency. Like, that's not a worst case scenario. Mayor of New York, governor of New York State senator in the U.S., like for the federal senator for the state of New York, a presidency, a Supreme Court position. Like, the political power in a prosecution of a Donald Trump, when you have permission to do it, when the political will is there to support you in that endeavor, if you win, I'm trying to, it's like finding that quad damage buff in Quake 3 Arena, man. Like, you are about to fuck some shit up if you can get it. The Unreal Tournament announcer goes, oh shit, multi-kill, quad kill, ultra kill, mega kill. Like, that starts happening the moment you get that Trump prosecution wrapped up, no matter who you are. And the media will cover it endlessly because it's constant money. It's money, 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 money. Clicks, 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 clicks. Viagra advertisement, Viagra advertisement. Boom, boom. Pfizer, 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 Pfizer. So, of course, they're like, oh, it's wild. It's wacky that Trump pled not guilty. Can you believe it? It's like the most normal course of action to be expected in this type of prosecution. Guilty, not guilty is irrelevant at this stage. The plea is going to be not guilty. So it's more the spectacle of it that I'm kind of interested in. Then we're going to move into some lighter subjects kind of after the Rumble switch. Look, I used to be a video game in a previous life. I love being a video game. I would play video games more if I had a little more time. And I've been playing some Bolt Gun, which is great. Before my vacation, I'll be playing some more soon as things kind of settle down. Bolt Gun's a lot of fun. And I got a couple other games that are coming out that I'm looking forward to. One that was not on my menu, my radar, I should say. I said menu too many times this stream. One that was not on my radar was Fable 4. Now, I played Fable 1 when it came out, and I pretty thoroughly enjoyed Fable 1. Fable 1 was a fun game. I mean, they touted it as like more open and choice influence than it was, but it had some stuff. It was a good step. I mean, especially on the original Xbox, it's pretty cool. I liked it. I didn't get around to playing Fable 2 because I think I was in college and I was too busy trying to, like, marry Lady Rackets or something. When it came out, something like that. I didn't play Fable 3 because I don't remember the timelines that these came out, but I'm sure I can identify whatever I was doing that was busy. Fable 4 has released their new gameplay trailer. And there are two characters in it. And those two characters are the perfect example of everything wrong with the video game industry. And they're acting like it's a shock that people are like, this looks like bullshit. This looks like trash. I don't want this. We keep telling you guys we don't want this. And you keep doing the thing that we don't want. So, like, and then they're like, I mean, we did the thing they told us they didn't like. Why are they mad about it? Like, how could they even be mad about that? It's baffling. Frankly, it's so fucking confusing that whatever. And, like, who knows how the game will be? I have no idea. Like, I'm not going to play Fable 4. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it does. But these industries, like, consistently lately are just like, I mean, who'd have thought that all these people that are beer drinkers would be, like, weirded out that we put someone who looks like they've never had a beer in their life as the advocate. Like, it's not that Dylan Mulvaney is trans. It's that Dylan Mulvaney's a fucking weirdo. And beer, for whatever you think about beer, okay? Beer is the everyman drink. Dylan Mulvaney is quintessentially the non-everyman. Not just because Dylan Mulvaney is a man trying to be a woman. Like, not just that, though. Dylan Mulvaney is a fucking weirdo anyway. It's not the everyman, not the ideal man, not a quintessential man, not the everyman, not the working man. Nothing associated with beer is embodied by Dylan Mulvaney. I know there's all sorts of like perspectives and thoughts on it, and they got a lot of publicity, and it may ultimately turn out to be the good thing for them, and they're trying to attract Zoomers, and the marketing appeals to them. This isn't a nuanced discussion like that. That discussion can take place somewhere else. Right now, though, beer is the everyman's drink and has been for decades. And the marketing they chose for it is just so fucking out of character. And then they're like, look, they hate trans people. It's like, no, it's weird. If they would have made me the beer advocate, it would have been equally fucking strange. Because I am not the everyman. I'm scrawny. I don't have manly fingers. I don't move shit around and build stuff. I get on a fucking microphone and like I drink wine and whiskey and the occasional vodka cranberry during Pride Month. So it wouldn't make sense in the same way. I'm not a blue collar guy. Beer is the blue collar drink. I'm not much of a beach goer because if I take my shirt off right now, my lights will reflect into the camera and break it while blinding you. I'm not a tan man. I don't have sore hands or scrapes on my arms or burns all over because I worked in a line cook forever, right? Like I'm not pulling hot pans out of ovens with spattering grease that leave those spots all down your arms. You guys who cook for years, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, I just have the home version of that because I cook at home. You work in a restaurant, your hands and arms get fucking cooked constantly. Something spills on them, something burns them, and you don't have time to like treat them, so you just get a gnarly little thing. I don't have any of that. I'm not the manly everyman, not that guy. Like, I like to do manly shit. I'm not opposed to it. I think it's great. But I'm not a good embodiment of it. You don't see me and be like, yeah, that guy's going to go pick up an axe and a sledgehammer and make a fucking bridge. Like, it's not going to happen. So it'd be weird, right? Like you want to pick a guy named Charles or whatever who just worked a double. Like that's the guy you want to be in a Bud Light commercial. And Charles is going to come in to his shitty house, like he's still got rabbit ears on his fucking television. And he's got a TV tray with a Hungry Man on it. And he sits down, he grabs that Bud Light. His recliner's got the cracks. And it's like that leather recliner, but you know, he didn't go to like Home Furniture and get a new one. He got that old ass leather recliner. Like he was driving down the highway one time with his Ford F-150, his 1986 Ford F-150 with shit falling out of it and like a big rusted hole in the side of the tailgate. But that thing will run forever. He's driving down the highway and that lazy boy is sitting out front. He's like, fucking hell yeah. I rub some Ajax into that leather and shine it right up. And he brings that thing down, he sets it in, and all the syphilis falls off, fitted into his carpet. And then he gets down with some Comet toilet bowl cleaner and scrubs that shit down, then washes it off with water and Windex. Because Charles doesn't clean leather couches. This is a man. And he sits down on it. He goes, and all the leather just cracks and like some stuffing comes out here, whatever. He doesn't give a shit. That is the most comfortable fucking chair the man has ever owned. He's had it for 8 years now, right? He gets his beer and he comes in, he sits down in that fucking chair. And he sets his beer down on his TV tray and goes, oh, God. Slumps down a little bit, right? And he turns on a football game. It's the Bears because he grew up in Chicago. He can't afford to live in Chicago and he's not black. So he's still alive. He's not shot in Chicago yet. He sits down. He's like, oh, that's the Bears. And he takes a sip of that Bud Light. And then the fridge opens up in the background. Light comes across the room. That fridge light, you know, the fridge door. And I'm talking that 80s fridge, right? The big ice chest up top. Like it's huge, but there's only this much space in it because it's got all the frost like that's built up over the years. And like, could you only reach in and around that to grab the one ice cream sandwich every 3 days or whatever? There's no light from the freezer anyway, so it doesn't matter. So the light's low and opens up. It kind of swings across. And he kind of cocks his eyes over. And there's a fucking Playboy playmate in a bikini. And she says, "Hey, baby, welcome home from work. You want another one?" He says, "Yeah, girl, I would." And she walks over in her fucking 6-inch stilettos, ass cheeks hanging out the bottom of that tiny bikini. But she's in a bikini, but she's in a cutoff crop top. This is a sensible and good woman. Like, she can't be crude in this commercial. And she'll come over and she'll lean over with that back arch, right? Like right over that TV tray where his beer is. And she'll set it down like right next to her tits. Boom. And she'll just lay a kiss right on his cheek. And he'll go, ah. He'll take another sip of his Bud Light and turn the volume up, fade to black. Greatest beer commercial ever. Fucking fantastic. That's the beer commercial I want. Instead, they get some fucking Ponzi weirdo flopping around in a dress with elbow-length gloves going, "I drink Bud Light." No, you don't. Fuck off. Make a goddamn beer commercial. You can't put me in it. That doesn't work. No one believes it. And no one believes that that's real either, but that's the dream of a fucking light beer. Like, that's the dream that they sold us in the 80s and 90s. And it was a beautiful dream. I loved it. I love that. I hate it. I hate it now. So anyway, Fable just did the same thing in a different way. They just did the same thing in a different way. With their teaser trailer. We'll talk about the specifics of that, why it's similar. These companies keep doing it. I talked about it some yesterday, but this is just another example. It's kind of fresh, and I ran across, like, people ask me if I watched the Xbox Game Source show or whatever. I didn't, but I'm starting to get the news stories about it. So we're going to talk about Fable in sort of this context of new marketing versus old marketing, why it bothers me so much, what the concept is, and of course the reaction of the industry is always the interesting one, because they know they're fucking with you, and then they act shocked when you're like, "Hey, what are you doing? Why are you messing with my stuff?" Like, all I want to do is give you $70 for Fable 4. Like, that's it. Like, I just want to walk into Best Buy, walk past some guy named Edgar who's sitting at the security desk who has never even opened his eyes. And then I want to walk past 3 people who ask me about a Verizon cell phone, get to the confusing spot where they still have physical media for the Xbox games. And I want to take that thing in his fucking case because people keep stealing it right up the front counter, and have Gerald, who's wearing a plaid dress for some reason with a beard, one eye pierced, ring me out with a lisp and ask me if I want Best Buy rewards. I'm like, I don't even know what email address I signed up for this. And I'm like, I just don't care. Here is $70. Can I take this fucking game home and kill a monster? Like, can I do that? That's all I want to do. And they're like, but first, we have to explain to you why we hate you before you go through that. And once we've explained to you why we hate you, we're going to be baffled as to why you're angry that we just told you that we hate you. Will you just make the game so I can give you $70? Like, that's your whole job. It's your whole job. I know you hate me on the like, look, I know on the inside, you all hate me. Like, I know. It's okay. Just don't tell me, because they just want to give you the money. And if you tell me that I'm a piece of shit, it's really hard for me to justify going here. But if I just tune out the fact that you hate me, I'll give you the $70 and we can both just, I probably hate you too, but you know how to code. So there, it was an exchange. No more. And then they're like, well, I can't believe gamers are mad at this. Oh, I know, it's very, very shocking. And then finally, on the final subject that we're going to cover today, I know we're 50 minutes in because my previews of the subjects are most of the topic. We'll condense the topics down. I'm not going to like rehash all of this. We'll just get into a little bit more specifics. Fat people. And I'm not talking general fats. Like, look, I've met y'all. You're normal fats, right? Perfectly fine. Average people in America are fat. Like, it's just a reality. Like, not when fatness is relative, average people are not fat. When fatness is an absolute thing and you have like, reality, like at this height, you should be around this body weight. Otherwise it's dangerous for you. So when we go to reality and not relativity, the average in America is just fat. It is. It's fine. It's fat. We can all, but that's not who I'm talking about, because you guys still fit through like a double door of a bus, or you get on an airplane and it doesn't, like, the wheels don't break. I'm talking about these big fats. The big fats. It's like those games that you get, like the mobile games, where you're like a little thing and you go around, like you try to eat the things that are smaller than you, and then you grow, and then you can eat things that were bigger than you, and then you grow bigger and bigger. Like, I feel like American super fats have been going around eating lesser fat people. It's like they're incidentally inhaling them when they go to eat their taco at Taco Bell. Like, and I say their taco, like their grande meal appetizer that they're having of just 10 tacos and 8 bean burritos or whatever. And they're like, oh. And like a fat guy coming out of that, he just gets sucked in by Lizzo. The death fats, the monstrously morbidly obese people are complaining. You motherfuckers, I don't care how many adipose tissue layers I have to pickaxe through to get this into you. You do not want this fight with me, motherfucker. They're complaining that airlines are charging them for 2 seats when they fit in 3. They're like, what? Discrimination. It's like, it's ballast, bitches. We just can't keep putting people this big onto planes, because they have to put all the Amazon deliveries on the other side of the plane to balance your big ass out. They're mad. They want 1 ticket. It's like, but it's 3 seats, man. And it would be 4, but half of you is hanging into the aisle. And yet, let's do the math here. Let's do the math here. If you fly coach, you pay a ticket, and you want to check a bag. Hey, what, it's $30? I think it's $30 to check a bag. Right? And you get 50 pounds. You get 50 fucking pounds for your $30. And if you go over by 1 pound, it's $5. By 2 pounds, it's $10. It's $5 a pound over. I weigh 185 pounds. You give me 50 pounds and my ticket plus my $30 or whatever it is. That means I get 215 pounds total net. Me in the bag. Then this motherfucker gets on a plane and weighs 400 pounds, and they still get the same size bag for the same fucking ticket. Start charging us by overall weight. TT, you want bigger plane seats? I mean, I have long legs, bro. I can't fly coach on United. TT, I'm with you. I cannot fly coach on United because from the back of my ass to the front of my knee is farther than the seat. from the front of my seat back to the back of the seat back in front of me. Can't fly coach on United. I can fly coach on Delta. I can fly coach on American, not on United. United's shit. Let's start charging based on total weight. Eliminate the idea of no seats. There's no seats. How much you weigh, we'll figure it out. Like, then there's like a seat model there when you buy your ticket. You can spread out across it. You just pay by weight. I think that's fair. Per pound of luggage plus your luggage plus your fucking luggage ass. That's how much it should be. But these fats are fucking angry that because they fit in multiple seats, they get charged for multiple seats. Anyway, pissing me off. Frankly, it's pissing me off. So we're going to talk about this. I want the airlines to take on this fight. I want them to take this fight to the extremes. You're right. Charging by seat is racist. Instead, we're going to just charge everybody by total pound of payload. That, like, don't charge an extra ticket for a baby or whatever. Like, you just charge for the weight of the baby. Makes sense. Simple. You get an estimate when you order the ticket, right? 6 months later, your ass gets fatter. They weigh you there and they charge your card at the gate when you get on the plane. So, like, if you go to a Vegas buffet before going home, your ticket's going to be a little more expensive. You better take a shit before you get on the plane. Get that poundage down. Leave shit in the fucking, the hotel that you don't want because it weighs too much. Don't pay for it. Participatory payment systems are great. And have it be one of those comical, like, fair scales, right? Like the county fair, where you walk on a big-ass fucking platform. There's a guy in a ridiculous-looking suit who's going to guess your weight and ticket price. And it's going to be on a big goddamn sign right above you. Like, all right, let's see how much Jerry's going to pay for his seat. Wow! He's coming in at 368 pounds. Jerry, my God! Like, just announce it to the whole airport. Just do that. I can get fat people to stop flying. The planes will smell better. We'll get on and off the planes faster. People won't stick to the seats. They'll use less bleach. You won't have to fix bathroom doors as often. I will fix this problem pronto. Anyway, those are the 4 subjects today. We're an hour in. An hour of introduction. We'll get there in a minute. Let me get these super chats. Jessica Reloaded. Hey, what's up, girl? Sent me some gay wrenches. Support Nick's month by smashing the like button. Thank you, Jessica. Please do smash the like button. If you're enjoying this show, go ahead and click that like on YouTube and on Rumble. Really does help out. I appreciate it. Blue Varro says, I identify as a tree. Nicholas Cruiser says, you are what you eat. True. Frederick Little gifted some memberships. Thank you, JD. Paralegal just kind of celebrating 14 months. Appreciate it. Chininator says, as a Navy submariner guy, I'm dying right now. Limp wristed slap down your door. Much love to all my questionable naval brothers. Thanks, man. The Roz Rodriguez says, first time super chat here. I work 1/2 the year and my sleep schedule is backwards on my off time. Night owl. You've been keeping me company since the days you get smashed till 5 a.m. Well, genuinely glad you're back. And don't worry, Roz, there's plenty of those 5 a.m. nights coming up in the near future. I'm just easing back into content right now after my vacation, but we're grinding up for some, or gearing up for some, a whole bunch of different stuff coming up soon. But yeah, thank you for being a night owl with me. Appreciate that. Wrathchild78 says, notice me, senpai. Hey, what's up, man? Balian says, Nick, you and Barnes should collab and shit all over Eagles Smeagol's video. he did on Trump's indictment. Oh, I haven't watched it. I haven't taken the sweet opportunity to shit on Legal Eagle in a while, so maybe I should. I am thirsty as fucking hell. Damn. Bad Weather Biker says, can I get a toast for my father-in-law, who we will bury tomorrow? He treated me as good as his own sons, overcame poverty to be a self-made man. He'd end every day with a small glass of brandy. He was an honorable man. So, yes, a brief tangent on that. Happily. I was asked to do a toast yesterday. Did a toast honoring a guy, and I got a nice thank you email about it. And man, like that combined with my friend's stepdad passing, and then one of my kids was just at we just took them up to the Bible camp they go to. It's summertime, summer camps and stuff like that. And the camp director, and I mentioned him back when this happened. He's such a good man. He passed away from COVID. He was a larger fellow. You know, he had the complicated risk factors, and he died from COVID or whatever the fuck it was. I mean, who knows? But during the COVID thing, from the symptoms that they attributed to COVID, generally speaking. And you just like get this moment, or I don't know, maybe it's because it's kind of coming in waves right now for me. But I just sit there in these moments and I go, these are good men. These are good men dying. These are good men being taken from the world. These are men of work, of honor, of courage, of commitment, men of value, men of enviable character, men that you want to be around so that your sons can learn from them and the gaps that you leave. There's a Bible verse about men standing in the gaps of the walls, right? And like, those are the men that you don't want to see go. And those are the men we're consistently mourning losing. And it's probably because the shitty men, no one wants to like have a toast to them. I get it. You're just happy that asshole's gone, but like, just fucking sucks when the bad circumstances or bad actions of the world or its people come and claim the people we need most to keep us on the good path. And so I just want you guys to know that when I do these toasts, and I don't know these people. I'm relying on the information you give me. But it aches a little bit when you know that person, like, listen, this is a father-in-law, treated me as good as his own sons. Like, you know that was the man standing in the gap. There's something. And I don't know the super chatter. I don't know their father's things, or the other people in their life. It's not a commentary on them. No one can be the entire wall except for Lizzo, but she's not a man, so she doesn't count. No man can be the entire wall, and good men stand in the gaps all over our lives. And you can just hear it come through some of these messages. So it is my honor and pleasure to give a little honor to them. That's the main thing. What are we? Oh, this is yeah. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Holy shit. Can I open this, please? Oh, if this was a Bud Light, I would open it. It's easier than I was making it out to be. Apparently there was just a notch that I had to grab. This is a Templeton Rye 10-year single barrel. All right, so that's what I'm opening. Get your boyfriend to open it. He's busy right now. Okay. Someone asked, are you making this shit up for a super chat? No. No, I don't think the speech I gave for the super chat that already came in is going to that's going to like garner another person's family member like wanting a toast to a dead family member. Just trying to pass along that like it's weird because like this job is strange. This life is strange. This idea that someone is asking me, a stranger, to toast someone I've never met. It's easy to be flippant about it. Like it really is, but it matters a little bit. I don't know, man. It's just fucking weird. So I should just share what's on my mind. It's a bad weather biker. For your father-in-law and the burial tomorrow, of course. As I kind of blabbered on about, he sounds like a man who stood in the gaps, who filled those empty spaces in your life, who taught you things that other people weren't able to, and who inspired you in ways that were unique to them. Cheers to his life. Brief sadness for his passing. But as I'm guessing he would want, a commitment to press on in his honor and memory for the future. Cheers. All right. And just pretend you're a radio DJ, more or less. We're going to have a cheers for Bad Weather Biker's father-in-law just passed, recently going to be buried tomorrow. Whoa, the ground's about to get a lot better. And his skin's about to get a whole lot wetter. Moving on. Here we go to crazy traffic on the 8th or whatever. Like, I can't do that. Holy shit. Oh, God. Could never be the radio DJ. And Uncivil Law, I see you, brother, says, want me to join you for an hour. Not today, but soon. Not today, but soon. Let's see. Here we go. Oh shit. Me 04120 says, when I flew to Tampa Road Rage, fuck, Tampa Road Rage was fun, man. That was so great. It says a fat guy in the first plane went to sit in the solo seat he was too big for and snapped the metal armrest clean off. Oh my gosh. I just cannot fathom that level of bigness. Venray Lal says, today is a 9-year anniversary of my grandpa's passing. He's the greatest man I've ever known. Formerly in the Navy, wasn't religious, but took my grandmother to every Sunday mass for their entire time together. Oh, that is like the most wholesome shit I have ever heard. Can I get a toast for Grandpa Leon? Cheers. Cheers to Grandpa Leon. An example of what it is to be a man committed to a woman they care too much about. Cheers to him and his example. 9 years gone and still inspirational. All right. Okay. Well, we're over an hour in. We got to go ahead and get over to Rumble. It just F Boosie 80. Nick's radio voice sounds like DSP. No. That's a little more nasally. Okay. Is a little bit farther back in the throat, a little less enthusiasm. You know, it's got some similar qualities, I guess, but you know, it's broken voice mechanics, dude. Kyan Rennell says, Nick, it should be guess your weight for airline seats and reverse Price is Right rules. If you guess under, you lose and have to pay the over per pound. I like that. That's great. We do have to go. I've got a couple more super chats to read. But before I forget, of course, if you are a death fat out there, maybe what you need in your life is one less bowl of chocolate and one more water bottle full of Field of Greens. Fieldofgreens.com, promo code knows. Look, this is a pure organic superfood. Those are marketing bullshit words that don't mean a damn thing. Look, it's really simple. Each serving of Field of Greens, about 16 ounces of water, 1 scoop of the mix, stir it up, shake it up, whatever. Add liquor, add whatever you want to. It doesn't have to be water. It can be any drink. Experiment. Taste what you like. It's a serving of fruit and vegetables. And you know why? Because you may not be the guy in my ideal Bud Light commercial, but you're somewhere between him and Dylan Mulvaney, pretty much. Like, and you're busy. And eating vegetables is fine, but cooking vegetables and keeping them around and like not getting around to it, and they go bad because you had to get a pizza one night because you didn't have time to cook, whatever the fuck it is, that sucks. So you go ahead and supplement your diet with this very simple drink that you can have. It's also got some caffeine and shit in it, some antioxidants, help out with your immune system, help out with a little energy boost here and there, taste good, and get you vegetables and fruit into your diet without, being an inconvenience, without being a burden. Very simple. Like I said, I like the taste. It's good. And it's really easy and convenient. Fieldofgreens.com, promo code knows, get yourself a little bit of a discount because it's not cheap stuff. It's not garbage. And you should take advantage of discounts when you can get it. Find the one you like and then improve your diet, improve your health. That's it. That's it. Basic. Very simple. I'm not drinking one tonight because I don't have my shaker bottle down here. Again, I got to prep better, but I was a little busy today. So that being said, though, tomorrow, probably be drinking some Field of Greens. Today, whiskey. Hey, what's up, Steph? I see you there. We'll be off to Rumble in just a minute. Let me get a couple more of these super chats that are in here, and then we'll hit Rumble. I've got some locals chats waiting, and we'll get to the rest of the show. Charlie D'Angelo says, woohoo, 7 months of unadulterated happiness. You just wrote happiness, so I would say penis. The Squid says the water parks in my area had to put scales on every slide for safety. One of the parks had to issue a public apology for fat shaming a fat that didn't opt out of loudly stating her weight. Oh, you don't need to give her an apology. Just give her a pizza. It's cheaper. It's simpler, and it'll make her less angry. Just do it. Just do it. Runkle of the Bailey, how does Field of Greens mix with whiskey? I haven't done whiskey, but I have done water, vodka, and Field of Greens. Like, that'd just be a lot of whiskey, right? A scoop of it typically goes into 16 ounces or so of water. 16 ounces of whiskey is, I mean, there's only 2 guys I know who might be able to do that. And one of them is Kurt, and the other is Legal Vices. And though they may live through it, even they would have their asses kicked by that much fucking whiskey. Okay, what do we got here? Blue Varo says, I identify as a tree. I think I read that one. Jip V, tonight I'm celebrating the 40th anniversary of my 21st birthday. How about a toast for the based old lady? See you and Lady Rackets again at Matsuri. Oh, yes. God, I'm so fucking excited for Matsuri. To Jip V, happy 40th anniversary of being 21. 40 years of being refined and aged and venerable enough to drink. 40 years of getting better at it and everything else. May you gracefully have dozens more celebrations of that 21st. Cheers, and I'll see you at Matsuri. Does it mix with freebasing? Yeah, so what you do is you get your freebase base. I don't know. Does you freebase cocaine? Is that what that is? And then you mix in Field of Greens, and you just, I think freebasing is burning it, like smoking shit that you don't normally smoke, I think. I don't know. It seems horrible, but like I teach. Yeah, just do that. Just like mix everything together with your Field of Greens, put it in a pipe and smoke it. Add some meth and some crack and whatever else. Put a little bit of weed in there to balance it out. Embassy says, anime convention plus Texas heat sounds miserable. So it's at the George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston, in downtown, and the hotels, the Marriott and the Hilton are attached by Skyway. You don't even have to go outside. They're very well air conditioned. The actual venue is quite comfortable. If you go outside to the food trucks, oh God, it's horrible. The rave sounds disgustingly fun. It's a bunch of anime people at a rave. Like, it goes kind of how that logical explanation of it sounds. It's not like a real one, but it's kind of fun. Frozen Yoga 69 says, reach into that salient schnoz and give me your torts notes. I know they're still in there, Mr. Gentlenose Esquire. You want my torts notes? I slept through torts most of the time. Fuck that. Frozen Yoga 69 says, oh wait, I just read that shit. Hyrule 47. Bruh, you got to find that video where that dumbass had jumped in front of Trump's motorcade. I haven't heard of it, but sounds interesting. Eric Miller says, hey, Nick, speaking of Charles, I think you should have Charlie from Penguin Zero. Feel like it would be a hilarious show between the two. Love Charlie, Penguin Zero. I was on a show. I didn't know who he was at the time. I was invited on the what's that podcast that they do or did? What was that podcast? It was Kaya Orson. Kaya Orson invited me on to that podcast. It was like 4.5 years ago. Does anybody know? I'm waiting for the delay to catch up. I know you guys. The official podcast. Yeah, I was on an episode of the official podcast, but I think it was a bonus episode years ago. It was a lot of fun, and I had no idea who Charlie was at the time. But if you have access to their special episodes or whatever, you could go. You could probably go find it. It would have been in 2018 or 2019, I think. Why are you on delay on YouTube? YouTube has a built-in 20-second delay. There's just, so does Rumble, so does Twitch. That's just how it rolls. Okay, anyway, but yeah, I want to go back and listen to that episode. Like, I don't even remember what we talked about, but it was cool. I like him a lot. I like Penguin Zero. I think he's very interesting. I don't agree with everything he says, but I think he's a very funny guy. Jesus Davila gave me a red communist thumbs up. What's up, buddy? Matthew Felty says, hashtag #NoseWave exists. Have a great night, Nick. Cool. And then Pat Max says, hey, Nick, can you wish my brother Joe a happy 27th birthday? A shot with him as well, if possible. I'm not going to do a shot, but I'll do this last sip of this Templeton rye. Happy birthday, Joe. 27 years, man. You're almost important in the world and in the lives of people around you. That's great. Keep it up, brother. Remain unimportant, shit on, and overlooked. For now, it gets better. It gets better. Pray for those grays and pray for those arbitrary number additions to your status, because that is the thing that will get you more respect than anything else in this world as a man. But while you are 27, which is just 20 until you're 30, have fun being that, learning things, and then take advantage of people's underestimations of you, because you can learn a lot and you can gain a lot from people not believing that you're worth much at all. Cheers to you, man. And that's that over on YouTube. We're going to go to Rumble. The Rumble link is in the pin chat. It's also in the description on YouTube. So come hang out. Join us over on Rumble. We've got 8,300 people over there already. Just getting the night started over there. We're going to pop over and have the rest of the show, which is actually, this has all been an hour and 20 minutes of introduction to the topics tonight. Sorry, I was in kind of a tangenty, ranty mood. And by sorry, I'm not actually sorry. It's just, I'm just explaining what happened. I've been quite fucking happy with it. SG says, attorney here. You should look into, are we dating the same guy? DUI guy tweeted about it. I will do so. Thank you. Thank you, SG, Mr. Attorney here. Too bad you're not an attorney at law like the rest of us. You're just an attorney here. Huh. Instead of being here, you should be at law. Then you'd be cool. Anyway, I'll see you guys over on Rumble. Love you, YouTube audience. Fuck you, YouTube, the company. We'll see you guys in just a minute. Peace. Peace.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen,